I enjoy cooking. I enjoy good food. Not only my food, I like Chinese food a lot, Italian food a lot also as well, but I love cooking in general.
For the Marin Council of Chambers, I'm Stephanie Plant, and this is We Are One Marin. Today, my producer Kalina and I are on location with Frantz Felix. He owns Caribbean Spices restaurant in San Rafael. Thanks to some fortunate advice from a stranger, he left a 16-year career managing a pet store to open a food truck, which ultimately led to his dream of starting his own restaurant. Join us for a tour of the back of the house at Caribbean Spices and get a taste of how Marin works. Thank you very much for having us here at Caribbean Spice Restaurant in San Rafael.
Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you. 4th Street, right? Downtown San Rafael.
Exactly. It is a nice and beautiful location.
And how long has the restaurant been in this location?
Right now it's been 2 years and a half. We opened in June 2019.
What brought you to cooking in the first place?
I started to cook when I was 7 years old. My mom is a chef. So back home in Haiti, I always wanted to work with my mom when she has stuff to do. So I learned a lot. And when I first came here, I said, you know what? There's no Haitian restaurant, no Caribbean restaurant around here. Maybe I should work on that and open one. So I started to work for a company, a pet store. I became the manager. So I spent like 16 years with them. Pet Club. It's in Côte Madre.
Yes, I'm familiar.
So I stayed with them for almost 16 years. I believe one day I cooked a duck for my wife and she told me, you know what, you need to open a restaurant. That food is too amazing. This is a funny story, I have to tell you that.
Please.
I have to explain that to you. There's a festival they have every year in Bodega Bay.
Oh, yes.
So I used to go to that festival since 2010. In 2013, I went to that festival and there was a guy that walked to my booth and he said, can I taste your food? And I said, okay. And I was selling conch at that time. He said, wow, this is good. And he said, do you have a restaurant? And I said, no, I don't. I said, I want to. And he told me, you know what? You need to open a food truck first. And after the food truck, you're going to open a restaurant. He said, for you, the way I seen it, you have to climb the ladder. It's not going to go that easy for you. And I said, you know what? I don't want a food truck. I want to open a restaurant. He said, nope. Believe me, open the food truck first. While he was leaving, he turned his back 3 times. He went away, he turned his back and looked at me and said, get you a food truck. He walked again, 2 or 3 steps, turned his back again, get you a food truck. 3 times. When I went home and I said, why he had to turn his back 3 times and told me to get myself a food truck? The festival was in November 2013. October 2014, I bought myself a food truck.
Do you know who he was?
No. I never see him again, never, never. So I started with the food truck since 2013. So I did 13, 14, 2015, I bought a second truck. And in 19, my dream came true and I opened up the restaurant.
That gives me goosebumps. It's fun to hear someone say my dream came true.
Oh yeah, this is what I always wanted because I picked the name of the restaurant since 2004. It's on paper.
Wow.
I have the menu, everything since 2004.
So tell us the significance of the name of the restaurant.
Well, what I wanted to do when I created that name, that's because I'm from the Caribbean, I'm from Haiti, and we have like 5 big islands in the Caribbean. We use pretty much the same spice, but each island has their own way of cooking. Like if you go to Haiti, you taste the food, you see, hey, that's Haitian food. You go to Jamaica, you see that Jamaican food. You go to Cuba, you see it's Cuban food. You're gonna make the difference right away. So I said, you know what, why don't I just make it Caribbean, that's food from the Caribbean, and spices from the Caribbean. So that's why I pick up that name. But I have to explain that very often to people because sometimes when they walk in, they said, is the food spicy? And I said, no, it doesn't mean spicy food. It means herbs, flavors, spices. You see, I mean, all the time I have to explain that to them.
Do you have a specialty or is there a favorite thing you like to cook?
Well, usually the way I reply to that is whatever you pick from the menu, you'll be happy with it. Like if you go to Haiti, the first thing they're going to serve you is grill.
Okay.
With pickles and plantain. It's like the way the Mexican making it, they call it carnitas. But it's not carnitas, it's different. The way we marinated that, we cook it and we serve it with pickles. Pickles is like a shredded garbage with vinegar, salt, pepper, everything. And it goes well on top of the plantain that they call the tostones.
I love those.
And we serve that with rice and beans. It's pretty much a national dish.
So who taught you to make that?
My mom.
Yeah.
And if you went home right now, what would you want her to make?
Oh, we want her to make right now mac and cheese, the way we make it. White bean sauce and white rice. We used to cook that a lot on Sundays because that was my dad's favorite food. So that's my favorite food also as well.
Is that on your menu?
It's not on the menu.
Mama's special?
It is not on the menu, but we try to do it like if we have like a holiday or something like that. We try to make something special.
Is there any tip or suggestion you might have to take away for the home cook?
What I will say, everything gotta be fresh the way we make it. Like over here, we cook every day, fresh. So that's the reason that we open at 11. We have plenty of time to come and cook and do everything, make it fresh. When people come and they try the food and they love it, they enjoyed it, they just go crazy for it.
Mm-hmm. How have you found Marin County for doing business?
When I first started to look for places, I wanted to go to the city, San Francisco, but I couldn't afford anything over there. And I said, okay, I'm going to go up north. I found some places I did not like them. One day, I think we were going to go on vacation, myself and my family. And I was passing by here and I saw a small poster with a phone number on it, something. The place is for rent. And I said, wow, that's a nice area. Maybe I should check it out. I took a picture of the number and I went home. We were going to go on vacation. So we went on vacation for a week and a half. We went to Italy. When we came back from vacation, the same night, went to bed and something is telling me, you know what, the first thing you have to do in the morning is call that number. And I wake up that day and I called. The guy answered. I said, well, you know what? It's so early because when I called it was like 8:10. He said, the office is not open yet. It's too early. Call me back around 10 o'clock. And I said, okay, I will. And at 10 o'clock, I called back. And he said, do you want to see the place? And I said, yes. He said, okay, come down right now. And I said, okay. Came down. He said, do you like it? Do you want it? And I said, well, I don't know yet. And he said, well, you need to be fast because I have 5 people ahead of you. And I said, okay. And I went back home. And the lady from the office called me and she said, Mr. Felix, you have to submit an offer because all the people are submitting offers. You have to. And I said, you know what? How much do they want for the place? And he said, well, I don't know, somewhere between $4,000 to $5,000 a month. And I said, that's too much for me. I cannot afford that. And I did not submit any offer. 2 days later, she called me and said, hey, you know what? 2 of the person that was ahead of you, they pull out. So there's only 3 of you guys left. So you have to submit an offer. And I said, no, I'm not going to do it. They called me up and they said, well, the boss wants to have a meeting with you. And I said, okay. So I went to the meeting and he said, look at me and he said, why we did not submit an offer? And I said, well, because I cannot afford it. He said, no, you cannot be a quitter. You have to give me something. Even though if I don't want it, I will tell you that I don't want it, but you have to. And I said, okay, I will. So I put an offer in and I put what I can afford. 1 week passed by and they called me back. So when I went and he told me, you know, the offer that you gave me, I'm going to give you that place. You know why? Because I can see the fire in your eyes. You want that place. I'm going to give it to you. This is how I got that place.
Wow.
It was amazing.
And you still have the same landlord?
Same landlord.
So you have a good relationship.
Yes. So when I came here and I opened the place, people were very happy. Very, very happy. They said, oh my God, we're going to have a Caribbean restaurant right here. I remember in October 2019, mostly on Saturdays and Sundays, people has to be calling for reservation because we were so packed. So we needed more people to be here to work. So myself, I used to be in the kitchen with 3 people with me, with 4 of us in the back, and we have 4 people in front. When the pandemic started, I had to let them go. It was terrible. There was nothing coming in and you have to pay them. Only one person stayed with me and she left in May and I ended up staying here by myself.
Oh.
I spent pretty much like 6 or 7 months here, just on my own, as one-man show doing everything. So people sometimes, they were amazed when they walked to the restaurant and say, where are the other people? I said, there's only one person here.
That's almost like being back in a food truck.
I know. And they say, oh my God, that's unbelievable. How can you do it? I said, well, you have to be focused and if you're into it, you'll make it happen. The good thing about it, we're still here. We're still in business. That's the main thing.
And congratulations to you for that. That
Well,
is
thank
no
you.
small endeavor. I know that, all businesses, all of us are struggling through the ramifications of that. It seems like you've chosen to focus on the positive.
Exactly. I'm not going to say that everything went well all the way. Some people was not too happy about it as well. Sometimes some people, they walk by or they come into the restaurant, they hurt my feelings a lot. One time that walked to the restaurant right here, and when he walked over here and he sat down and he ate. And while he was leaving, he told me, "How did you get that place?" And I said, "What do you mean? Are you saying, how can I afford it or what?" And he turned and he said, just like that. He didn't say anything, he didn't say anything. Just said,
Pointing to the color of
the color.
your
And
skin.
I said, how? The color of my skin. And he said, yes. And he left. And it was really tough for me that day. Yeah, because I couldn't imagine that someone come to your place, eat your food, and while he was leaving and he mentioned that to you, it was really, really hurtful. So anyway, it's in the past. If I'm gonna keep on thinking about those things, let those things get into me, I will not succeed. You see what I mean? And I'm here to succeed, to please my customers, and to be part of the community.
Yes, absolutely.
I told them, hey, go to my page, check on Google, check on Yelp, and take a look. It's only 5 stars. So that means I'm doing something right.
What are some of the secrets to how you're succeeding?
Well, the main thing is the passion. Some people fail, the reason they fail that because they don't have any passion. They get into a business just to make money. Me, I don't see it like that. The money will come. Just be focused and be passionate about what you're doing. That's the main thing. Because you know why? If you have a customer that walks to your store right here, sit down and eat your food, I guarantee you, when I serve people my food, the first bite, they will feel love. Because when I'm cooking, I put all my love inside that.
I can see it in your eyes too. I can.
You can see it in my
I
eyes?
can.
Yes,
And
yes.
there's a lot of kindness too.
Yes.
It's really nice to spend a minute and get to know you.
Definitely. Well, that's me.
No, and I think that's the whole point. It's like I'm just sitting here listening, and you're painting a picture of who you are. And sometimes I think we don't stop, especially in the restaurant industry. We come in, we have our service, and it's about the customer, right? I think it's so important to just slow down. You have a really powerful story that they don't know is sitting on 4th Street.
Exactly. We've been here for almost 2 years and a half. And so many people, they don't know that we are here. I had this guy that was passing by the other day, and he stopped by and he took a look at the sign. He said, "How long you guys been here?" And I told him, "More than 2 years." And he said, "I pass by here all the time." And I was asking myself, something is wrong. Why do you not see that? For the past couple of months, I will say that 50 or 60% of my business came all the way from the East Bay. They crossed the bridge to come get food here.
So what does more support from this community look like?
Well, what I will say is come to the restaurant more often, order food. We are here. We are part of the community. So that means they have to see us, they have to support us as well.
Okay. I think sometimes people walk by on the sidewalk too and they don't look up, right?
Exactly.
Got the phone in the
Got
hand.
The phone in the hand.
And they don't, you could walk 2 blocks and not
Not
know where
see
you went,
anything.
not see anything.
Yeah, that's true.
Kalina mentioned slowing down a little bit. I think that in general, right? Slow down and have a meal, slow down and look around your neighborhood, and listen a little.
Listen a little.
Listen to your neighbor.
That's correct.
Do you have a goal for your restaurant? Where do you want to go?
I want pretty much the way it started in 2019. I want, when I walk to the restaurant, that I have a lot of happy face, people enjoying the food, people talking. It's not like I want to be famous. I just want to please. I just want to make people happy. Like when I cook, when I serve my people right here, you should see that. Sometimes when I serve people my food, I sit in the kitchen and just watching them taking the first bite, and boom, that pleases me a lot.
Well, it is a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you so very much.
You are open for lunch and dinner.
Lunch and dinner, exactly. We're open from Tuesday to Sunday.
6 days a week.
days
Caribbean
a week.
Spices on 4th Street.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. If you want to join the conversation or make suggestions, reach us at weareonemarin.com. You can contact our guest Frantz through his website, CaribbeanSpicesSanrafael.com. That's spices with an S. And incidentally, I'm not a restaurant critic at all. I do like to eat, though, and Frantz was kind enough to cook for us. And I can say quite honestly, it was absolutely delicious. The Marin Community Foundation generously sponsors this podcast. Our theme music is performed by a student at Enriching Lives Through Music. Elm is in San Rafael's Canal neighborhood. Finally, a reminder to support diverse local businesses and shop Marin.